This is DETOUR, the best stories in Black travel.
This is Excursions with Gina Arias, Cuba edition, Part 3. Since our visit, La Reina y La Real have gone on to perform in London and New York, as well as the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. And they were accepted into the Cuban Agency of Rap's roster of artists. We wanted to know more about this state-run institution. Go to find out, the director of the agency is also an MC, Rubén Marín of the hip-hop group Primera Base. We were shocked and pleased to enter a government building dedicated to rap music. Not to music in general or to the arts, but to hip-hop. Inside the director's office, a heated discussion was ensuing among recent musicology graduates and the director of the agency about the influence of trap music on the Cuban music scene. After their lengthy meeting ended, we were able to speak with Rubén about the work of the agency and the state of Cuban hip-hop.
Hacerle dos preguntitas, simplemente, porque aquí hay una agencia de rap. Eso no se conoce allá.
We're in a government-run rap agency. That's not something we have in the United States, even though hip-hop began in the U.S. So we have no concept at all of what a rap agency does. What does a rap agency do?
La agencia cubana de rap fue fundada el 16 de septiembre del año 2002.
The Cuban Rap Agency was founded on September 6, 2002, and since then has had its goal to promote hip-hop in Cuba. Over 15 years have passed, and we have not succeeded in this function. Right now, the Cuban Rap Agency has a contaminated catalog that includes reggaeton and rap, when it should only be rap. But we are directed by economies. Rap contributes socially, but not economically, so we have to find a balance. However, we think that with just rap, we can obtain this economic peace if we do a good job. Because we belong to a state institution that gives us the possibility to have the artist paid for his or her work and be a professional.
Eso es lo que se le llama aquí las empresas. O las empresas. Okay, ese concepto no se entiende, yo no lo entiendo.
We had heard that hip-hop artists need to enter into the agency and be part of the institution, be part of an empresa, as they called it. I asked Rubén to explain what an empresa is all about.
Si tú tienes una disquera, tú escoges a tu artista.
If you have a label, you choose your artists. You make their records, you sell their records, and you represent them. In return, you're gonna make a profit, royalties, etc. It's the same thing. We have a catalog of artists who we have working legally for the agency so they can travel and work and be paid for their work. And besides that, we represent them artistically. So if Conciencia wants to perform in a venue, we draw up a contract for that venue. The money comes in, the agency takes a percentage for helping book the act, and the artist gets paid directly for their work. They themselves can go out there and earn money independently.
So those artists that are not part of the empresa, they can't do that on their own?
No, they don't have the possibility because the country functions in that way, bureaucratically.
So what's your vision for the Cuban Agency of Rap?
It's a bit complicated. Because if I look at it from the point of view of an artist, my vision is to include all rappers that are making great art and put them to work and commercialize them. But as a director, I have parameters that I need to follow. Artists need to audition. We need to measure their technical and artistic quality so they can be professional. I defend the artist's vision because I know the talent of many of the artists in the hip-hop community in Cuba. My primary objective is to help artists progress as they make great music in the hip-hop community. I say that I am the director of the Cuban Rap Agency, but I represent the hip-hop movement. I don't only represent the institution. I can be the mediator before any censoring happens because I understand the culture and the scene.
And finally, what would you like people in the United States to know about the Cuban hip-hop community?
I want it to be clearly understood that we identify with the hip-hop movement in the United States. Even though in our country, it is not pure hip-hop, We have followed in the footsteps of a hip-hop generation that has showed us how to go beyond the four elements and into a social paradigm. We want them to come closer to us, to have them come and experience Cuban hip-hop, because that is the only way we can show Cuba that we have a place within the worldwide hip-hop scene.
Dentro de la escena hip hop mundial.
Stay tuned for part 4.